What's up, Fanci Friends? Today we're going to be doing another interview with certified relationship coach and owner of the Awaken Women's Network, Mrs. Carol McNeely.
Hi, guys.
If you guys have been following from the beginning, like I have, you know it was originally entitled the Divested Women's Network. And now she is the Awaken Women's Network. What brought about that change and what inspired you to start the Awaken Women's Network?
Well, first of all, Fanci, let me say thank you so much for having me on your channel. I appreciate it. Well, to answer your question, originally you're right. We were known as the Divested Women's Network, LLC. What made me change it wasn't even something I was interested in doing. If you've been following me, and I know you have, I always follow my gut. I listen to what the universe tells me, even when I don't want to. And one of the things that happened back in, I guess it was last June or maybe July, and it was just very clear, there's some energy being blocked here. And one of the reasons it was being blocked was because of the name of my company at the time. And so I spent some time just fasting, figuring out what next, and Awaken Women's Network then became our official name. So officially.
Okay. I love that because I'm all for going with your gut.
Absolutely.
It never lies.
It never lies and it never leads you wrong. And one of the reasons I actually started the business, I think that was one of the questions you were asking in addition to the name change, was really I saw a lot of women, we get told all of these contradictory things, if I'm to be 100% honest. We get told we're supposed to be, beautiful, but don't be conceited. We're supposed to be loving, but don't be loose. We're supposed to be funny, but don't be loud. We're supposed to be supportive, but don't be a doormat. So there are so many things we're being told on levels as women. And then within the Black community, there's certainly this idea that Black women are supposed to be the ones, and I'm using air quotes here, to hold it down. And it's like, yeah, that sounds good, but let's take a deeper look. And when you really start taking a deeper look at what some of these viewpoints are, it's not advantageous for Black women to continue to hold it down. We really need to start holding ourselves up and let other people sink or swim. And I really wanted to see within the Divested Awakened community, I wanted to see more women who were interested in not just talking about it anymore, but actually taking the action steps towards self-improvement, towards personal growth, towards divestment, towards awakening. So that was one of the reasons why I started.
So tell us what services you offer through the Awaken Women's Network. We know that you are tailored towards women. So women are the only people receiving your services, correct?
Absolutely. I feel like if there are males out here who are looking for a certified relationship coach, there are thousands of male, probably millions of male certified relationship coaches. So I work specifically with women. I have no interest in working with men for any coaching services, but the services I offer, we have a divestment package, we have a personal awareness package. Our divestment package is exactly what it is. I'm actually doing a 12 weeks course that I'm actually going to be finished with in the next couple weeks, hopefully. That's just teaching women what we need to do if we're really serious about removing ourselves from toxic situations and toxic relationships. It's a step-by-step how to do that. It's the same thing as a divestment packet. I also have a dating package. All of that's on my website. So we have a one-on-one just relationship with yourself package. So all of that's on the website.
Okay. Are you currently accepting members? I know you said you're coming to a close on your 12-week program. So would that mean that they needed to wait till the start to start back or to register, or are you still accepting people currently?
I am accepting people. We haven't launched it yet. It won't launch for another probably month. I'm looking at June 1st as my launch date. So we are definitely accepting women who are ready to make real changes. And I always like to be, Fanci, me, I like to give 100% transparency. Women who are not ready to commit, women who are not serious about the next 12 weeks, women who are not really ready to take a real look at themselves. Basically, women who aren't ready to make the changes they need to make in order to get to the best version of themselves, this won't be for them. I don't want to waste their time and take their money, and I can't waste my time, But yeah, it is definitely open, and women who are interested can always email me.
Okay. And if you want to, you could provide that email for them now.
It is awakenedwomansnetwork@gmail.com.
And I will tag that in the video so that you guys can see the correct spelling. It'll also be linked in the description box below. So be sure to check out all the information needed if you're interested in services. Her website and all other info will be linked in the description box below. How did you become an awakened woman?
I say some women come to being awakened because we've always asked questions. We always felt like, wait a second, this just seems off. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And so I think the awakening part is starting to ask those questions and starting to look at yourself and see how you navigate your universe and the way in which you fit into your universe. So for me, I like to say I've always had the curiosity, but I don't think you're an awakened woman until you start actually asking the questions, garnering the truth, and then applying the truth. I think knowing the truth does not make you awakened. I think that just makes you someone who knows this is true or this is false, but applying the truth. So I would say probably about 15 years ago when I really started going, let me listen to this conversation because this is not making a lot of sense to me. And just kind of looking at the people with whom I was spending time and the people who were directly in my circle. And when I started applying that truth, I started pulling back from some people because it was necessary.
Always
necessary.
Yeah. Yes, I do. So speaking of pulling back from those people and recognizing who you were and who you needed to be aligned with, talk to us a little bit about the importance of alignment.
It is probably one of the most important things you are ever going to practice. Research has even found if you have 5 friends, you're going to adopt the traits and the personalities and the work ethic and the characteristics or the procrastination of the people with whom you surround yourself. I think the saying goes, if you have 5 friends who are successful, you're going to be the 6th. I know you've heard that before.
Yes.
And so that is what the data supports. So the people with whom you surround yourself cannot be dismissed as probably one of the most important decisions you're going to make next to who you marry. It is probably one of the most important decisions you're ever going to make. When you find yourself in a situation where people are not aligned with you, what happens is you're either going to start to take on their characteristics, or they're going to set about ways in their maliciousness and in their jealousy, which is just a lack of self-awareness. They're going to then start to, for lack of a better word, sabotage you. Did I answer?
You answered that perfectly.
Why are you laughing?
Because
this is experience.
Yeah, I'm laughing, but this is something that people really need to hear, because who you are surrounding yourself with every day, the people that you're talking to all the time, either you're rubbing off on them or they're rubbing off on you. So you have to know that that is one of the most important things that you can do in your life, is surround yourself with the right people who can not only help you to achieve what you want to achieve, but support you in achieving that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can I lose some of your audience when I say this next thing, Fanci, and then I'll let you go on with the next question? Can I just go ahead and lose some of them?
Go ahead.
Do you mind?
I do not.
Look, you're so messy. Let me just say this, and this is going to be difficult for a lot of people, and it's one of the reasons, honestly, why I developed that 12 weeks course. Some of those people in your circle are those relatives you've known forever. And when I say you, I'm speaking in general. We all know that aunt or that cousin or that sister or that niece or nephew or, you know, whoever it may be. We all have that person in our space who is a bloodline. We need, even if it's our mom, it is a difficult thing, especially within the Black community, because we get told about family. Now, we don't live that. We do not live that, but we get told that. So even if it's your mom, dad, uncle, brother, cousin, whomever, if the person is not aligned with you, you're going to have to make the decision to either remain where you are and continue in sameness, or move away from that person. It doesn't have to be some rage against the machine, kicking in walls type of deal. It can just be a conscious decision to say, you know what, I've reviewed this. And while I still love you and I still want you to be happy and I want the best for you, I understand the place I'm traveling to just isn't the place where you're going to be traveling to. And that's okay. You can wish that person love and success, but then you have to move on, or you have to shut the fuck up. I mean, there's no two ways around it. It's just, it is what it is. And I always say everybody wants to divest until it's actually time to divest. Mm-hmm. And that's a part of it.
Because when divesting involves cutting off mama and big mama and auntie, now it's a problem.
Another conversation. Yeah.
But you are right. Sometimes those are the very people that need to go.
Exactly. And if it's no longer aligned with where you're trying to go, and like I said, I know it's difficult because we're creatures of habit just by human nature, and change is hard as hell. Change is difficult, you know. It's difficult to just say break a habit. So I always say, don't say break a habit. Let's say I'm adding new habits. You know what I mean? I'm modifying my habits. So just tricking the brain with that little saying. But it's very difficult when you are surrounded by people, and again, I say again within the Black community, because we get told that traditional jargon of, you know, well, that's still your mama.
Piggybacking off of who you're aligning yourself with, let's now go into talking about the importance of having options.
Oof. Oh my gosh. You know, there's this whole narrative with divestment, and I understand why. Let me be very clear. I get it. There's this whole narrative that divestment is all about dating outside of the Black race. And okay, there are people who want to push that narrative because it detracts from what I'm really saying. Mm-hmm. My definition of divestment is the conscious decision to remove anyone or anything from your life that no longer enhances or advances you, no longer serves your best interest, or is no longer aligned with your journey. That can be anything or anybody. That could be an ideology. That could be a religion. That could be the people you surround yourself with. That could be a whole multitude of things. But when it comes to our dating options for Black women, here I will specifically talk about Black women. Black women are the least likely traditionally to explore any other dating options. In fact, Black men date out at twice the rate we do. Now that's probably going to change over the next few years, but as it stands right now, they date out, and I don't hear anyone referring to them as divestors. But again, I digress, and I understand the place from whence that comes. I think when Black women start to explore their dating options, it does a couple of things. One, it allows Black women the opportunity to see that they're not beholden to a group of males just because they happen to share the same skin complexion or skin tone. Clearly Black males don't feel that way, and they shouldn't. I always used to tell my nieces, my nephews, and my nieces actually, hey, explore your options, date the rainbow. This was obviously before they became involved in serious relationships, but I would always tell them that because I think you should, but I think it should be for men as well as for women. Mm-hmm. And if we're going to get that deep, it definitely should be more so for Black women, because we outrank Black men in areas where it matters: education, home ownership, entrepreneurship, just working long-term in our own personal careers. Limiting your options as a Black woman when it comes to your dating life, if you are exclusively saying you are only going to date Black males, when you have all the data, qualifies you as a woman who is stupid. You're not ignorant. No, I say that with no disrespect, but it's the only definition that encompasses that behavior and that mentality. You're not ignorant, because ignorant means you don't know something. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't have the facts, you don't have the data, you don't know how to get the information. So you're not ignorant. When you have all the data and you are a Black woman and you have made the decision, and it is every woman's right, I want to be very clear. I am certainly not saying every Black woman on planet Earth has to do this. No, I'm not saying that at all. We're not a monolith, right? So I'm not saying that. I am saying, if you know the data, you know what you see, you believe what you see, you can read with comprehension, and you still refuse to explore anything other than Black males, you are textbook definition of the word stupid, period. And I wish you the best with that.
Just the truth.
Just the truth. I mean, it is what it is. Women who open up their options are really finding love. They're finding drama and foolishness too, because you still have to vet. I don't care who you are dating. I don't care who you are into, attracted to, like, whatever. It doesn't matter. You still must vet any potential partners, period. Nothing transcends that.
Okay, I do agree. And whenever she's talking about vetting, she's talking about seeing what this person is really about. Are they really who they are portraying themselves to be? That is on you to find that out.
Yep, exactly. And you can't find that out, ladies, if you are sleeping with him within the first few months. Listen, Fanci told me I can just put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a woman and you're interested in a long-term relationship with a guy, then you should be willing to take the time to get to know him. Not that bullshit he presents when he first meets you. Not that other crap. You need to spend time getting to know him. And if he's not willing to be with you and get to know you over a few months without there being any sex, but yes, he is supposed to pay for your dates. You're not supposed to be paying half. He's supposed to court you. If he can't court you, then you need to go somewhere else. Hell, I can take myself out for drinks. So the hell do you need him for, right? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, so you really, sex tends to cloud our judgment. Now, if you're just, hey, I'm not trying to be with this guy. He's really good in bed. I've slept with him, in college. He's somebody who's, I just want to get laid. Okay, cool. Then that's your business. You're not looking for him with anything long term, and the two of you have that agreement, fine. But if you're looking for something long term, you really need to vet, and you cannot accurately vet if you are emotionally and spiritually connected to that person via sex too soon. So that's what I said about that.
Dating is collecting data, not bodies, people. I know y'all heard that before. I know you heard that before.
That's exactly right. And you know what? Even if you are collecting bodies, and if that's just all you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. But ultimately, you're going to have to look at yourself. If every single dating situation is the same throughout your dating career, there's something going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a hard truth, but we have to get honest with ourselves if we expect there to be any change or any growth.
Yep. It is a hard truth. It's so hard to accept that you're the problem, but sometimes you are the problem.
Sometimes I'm the problem. Sometimes I jump the gun. Sometimes I'm like over the top. Sometimes my husband tells me, he's like, okay, are you going to be dramatic or are we going to be able to have a conversation about this? I'm just like, well, I got to choose. Can I just be dramatic and we have the conversation? Like, hello? Exactly. It's giving. I don't like that. Got me on here clouding.
So now, do you have any upcoming series? I've tuned into some of your mini series on Facebook. She's on YouTube as well. I will have that also linked in the description box below. But do you have any other mini series coming up or big series that you're working on?
The biggest thing I'm working on right now is getting my 12 weeks course together and getting that out at least by June 1st. That is my hard deadline for launch, is June 1st to have everything ready. So that's it right now. I will not be doing an event until after my launch, just because I just won't have the time.
Okay, understandable. So I will keep you guys updated. Be on the lookout for an event after the launch in June. And I also remind you guys about the launch in June via my social media sites. So follow me if you don't, because this is a program that you guys do not want to miss, okay? Listen, you're going to learn how to love you. Make sure other people love you and not just around because. Date for marriage if you're interested in that. Plenty of options here for growth. And I think you guys should really take advantage.
100%.
That was actually my last question I have for you today. But if you could tell us where we could find you, I'll tag that in the video and in the description box below.
Okay, awesome. So I am on Facebook at the Awakened Woman's Network. You guys can find me there. I'm on Instagram at Awakened Woman 94. I am on YouTube at the Awakened Woman's Network / Not Your Mother's Awakening. I'm also on, can you believe it or not, I got my ass on TikTok. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought? So I'm on TikTok at Awakened Woman. So, and I have different information and videos and little things I put out. Everything is not always the same, so I feel like people get bored with that. But my message is always the same. But I may do a video on TikTok that you haven't seen on Instagram and vice versa. So that's where you can find me.
I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Fanci out.